All right, I think we are now live. I'm checking. Yeah, we're good. Cool. I see my face at least, so it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might want to mute your tab if you have the live stream open, so it doesn't cause a feedback thingy. But yeah. So thanks to everybody for being here, and we are going to start our second general body meeting. So the way this is going to work is we're going to have just give updates. If you are live streaming and you want to ask a question or give some input, you can type it in the chat, and I'll be taking a look periodically just to make sure we are responding to folks. So we will start with announcements. Yeah, anybody got announcements?
I have some. I don't know if I should give them now. Or should I wait for the social committee section? Just go ahead and give them now.
You can wait for the social committee
section. Because I have a whole little blurb on that stuff, so I'll wait.
All right. Anybody else got any announcements related to anything BGPSA? Any personal announcements, birthdays, celebrations going on?
No, but I do have it for anyone who is interested. On tomorrow at 3 p.m., I will be on a panel discussing how to teach about the Confederacy and all of this stuff. And it's mainly for graduate students. It's part of a wider conversation that we're having. And that's going to be at Love House, which is the Center for the Study of the American South, which is off of Franklin. That's all I can say about it. And it's at 3 p.m. So if anyone wants to come out to that and hear ideas on how to teach about the Confederacy, different pedagogy, methodologies, and things like that, then I'd love to see you.
Cool. Also, just if you can give like a brief description of who you are in your position when you give updates, just because I'm realizing now that folks may have never met us before. So it might be. So I'm Henry, third year doctoral student in clinical psychology, and I'm the president. So I'm going to start with my updates if there aren't any more announcements. All right, great. So the main thing I wanted to talk about for the general body is the meeting that we had with Chancellor Folt about 3 weeks ago. So as you all may be aware of, we sent Chancellor Folt a letter basically stating our position and kind of our concerns around the Silent Sam protest. And she agreed to meet with us. And so it was 3 members met with her, including myself. She's going to talk briefly about conclusions. As far as getting more information about her position around Silent Sam and the protest, she is firmly against the statue, and but basically she's tied by the law as far as the things she can do related to the removal of the statue, and I'm pretty sure most people are aware of that. As far as conclusions, she's receptive to increasing efforts to communicate with BGPSA and other minority groups, and she has been working on, her office has been working on a variety of different diversity initiatives. And she agreed to communicate more closely with BGPSA moving forward and even coming to future general body meetings. We also got a chance to discuss increasing the amount of people of color in graduate school programs, and she agreed that that's going to be an important initiative for her moving forward. So we talked about it initially, but anybody have any questions about the meeting, reflections or feedback? Gonna just check the chat. All right, great. So that was pretty much all for me. I'm going to move on to program.
Yeah, so I took and I wrote down some of the things that we discussed at the last executive meeting, along with some of the comments that April and I chatted about. April is the other member of the programming committee, and they're pasted on the general body meeting agenda. I don't know if it would be, for time's sake, I won't repeat them all.
Yeah, we can briefly overview, because I don't think folks outside of this meeting have the
thing. So what I was going to do, just basically, I'm sorry, run through them quickly. I like start. Someone's calling. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. All right. So we met, and so a couple of things that we talked about was a potential program with the Campus Counseling and Psychology Services, CAP. So something that we could potentially do in January. And one goal that we kind of distinguished was trying to kind of outline some mental health issues and things like that that graduate students and professional Black students may face, and how to deal with those things early on so that we don't get bogged down too much. So that's why I thought about putting that at the beginning of the semester. And then Black History Month celebration, and kind of talk through this with the executive board about doing something different from the ideal of, identifying people in Black history and why they are important and things like that. Because we all kind of know that, I think. And so we decided to kind of focus it on kind of things that are affecting us in the present, and how that has a historical leaning to it, perhaps a social, political leaning to it, with different rooms, with different discussants who can kind of help us think through those things. And then finally, at the conclusion, having like a keynote speaker coming in and address the issues holistically. And maybe we'll have food, and I think that'd be a nice event. And then 2 think tanks. The first one is thinking about race relations at UNC. That's something that we can potentially do in March. And then a final think tank talking about the job market for people who are in their final year, or people who are getting close to that, who want relevant information on how they should be considering moving forward. And that's basically the gist of it that kind of we talked about.
Cool. Do you have any questions for us or the general body as far as like what you're thinking about the events, or?
No, but when I wrote down the updates, I wanted to make sure that everyone know that we are constantly thinking about ways to kind of expand the program. So if anyone has any ideas about the programs that we kind of have listed, or any other programs that they would like to see in the spring, definitely don't hold back and let us know.
Great. Anybody right now have any kind of ideas about how to expand on anything, or any feedback about the programs? All right, cool. So we'll move on to service committee updates, which I am chairing the service committee until we get a service chair. But Alexis, who is on the call, is actually on the committee also, so that's great. So I'm just we've met twice now, and we've actually made a lot of really great progress as far as what we want PSA service initiatives to look like throughout the rest of the fall and in the spring. So I am going to briefly overview the fall schedule, but Alexis, feel free to jump in with details afterwards, or stop me at any point to flesh stuff out. So at the end of October, we're planning a weekend meal prep volunteer opportunity with Table NC, which is a community service organization aimed at feeding, I believe, children in the Chapel Hill Carborough area. Yeah. Early to mid-November, we're planning a service event with the Jackson Center, and Alexis can tell us a little bit more about that in a sec. As you all know, when we have the social event in November, the watch party, we're going to be doing a canned food drive. And we looked into actually where we should take the food, and Jackson Center will receive the food from us. And Alexis can probably talk a little bit more about the Jackson Center and what it is for those folks who don't know much about it. And we're also going to have or host an opportunity to help with food banks over the holidays. So, for example, folks staying here for Thanksgiving break can volunteer at the Jackson Center Food Bank over the holidays to kind of give back. We won't make it like a hard and fast service opportunity since we know folks will be traveling, but just something if folks are in the area. Alexis, would you like to add anything or tell folks about the Jackson Center? I think she's muted. Okay, say something now. Can't hear you. Okay, well, Google Hangouts don't like some people's computers. It's fine. Moving to talking about the spring schedule, it's kind of flexible right now, but for Martin Luther King week, we kind of decided not to do anything official because there is already a lot going on campus. So instead, we're going to encourage students to participate in some of the ongoing initiatives that are going to be hosted around campus. And we're going to identify some to kind of promote. The first Friday of every spring, we plan on hosting a volunteering food bank at Jackson Center, which is in Carborough, Chapel Hill. In February, we plan on collaborating with the Durham Youth Home Group for a volunteer opportunity and possibly hosting some kind of panel with BSM, the Undergraduate Black Union. In March, we're going to redo the spa days, but this time we're going to have one for boys and for girls at the Cornwallis Housing Projects in Durham. And lastly, in mid-April, we're going to have a spring-type community garden event where folks can come out and volunteer at the UNC Community Garden. So those are all of the service committee updates. Sorry, Alexis couldn't chime in. I think Google Hangouts doesn't like her mic. Any questions about that or feedback about some of the stuff we have planned? Cool. All right. Well, we'll keep moving forward. So I'm going to go to social committee. You got to take your thing off mute.
Let's see if Google Hangouts likes me. Can everybody hear me? Yep. Okay, great. My name is Anthony. I'm a fourth-year medical student. I'm doing a leave of absence year at the School of Public Health currently. I am social chair. I really say social co-chair because there's only two folks a part of the social committee, myself and Zaire Graves. Hopefully she is available and on right now. Shout out to her. She and I have been busy putting together some events for the Black graduates here at UNC and at other schools as well. So I'm going to share a link to our event coming up this Thursday called Speed Friending. And it sounds, and what it is just what it sounds like. It's speed friending among the different schools. So sort of like a little spin on speed dating. We're essentially going to bring other BGPSA chapters to UNC's campus. We're actually going to be at the Stroud. So we're going to be on Franklin Street at the Stroud. And essentially, people are going to speed friend amongst the different schools. So like Duke will be paired with UNC people, Central with NC State people, and then we'll, like Zaire and I are coming up with a simple algorithm to try to make sure that people are meeting different folks from different schools. And that'll be going on for like the first hour of the event. And then we'll just open the floor up to people to, you know, mix and mingle with whoever they want to mingle with. So it really is like a, you know, you're meeting people, you're not just meeting folks of the opposite sex, you're meeting people at other schools who are involved in different programs, you might have interesting perspectives on things, and it'll be fun. It'll be a good time. And we're going to have good music. We actually get to coordinate the music ourselves. So like we'll have full control over that. So it'll be a nice little evening. And again, that is on October 12th, which is this Thursday, starting at 6:45 p.m. To 8 p.m. That's the hour 15 minutes of speed friending time, and then the rest of the evening will be open to just a mixer type atmosphere. The dress, because of the time, will be classy casual. So guys, no t-shirts, but jeans are fine. Ladies, I'm sure you all will find something great to wear there, but it doesn't have to be, you know, heels and a dress and stuff like that. If you want to look really, you know, cute, or you plan on going out in the evening after the event, then feel free. But it's not a requirement that, you know, a person has to wear club clothes to this event. So just be classy casual. Another event coming up. Let me share this link if I can do that.
You can screen share.
You can screen share. Okay. So I want people to be able to click on the link and RSVP if they can on the Facebook page. Let's see.
You can also post the link in the live stream comments or chat section.
Chat. Okay.
I can do that.
Okay, I think I put it in the chat just now, or I tried to.
Yeah.
So, okay, to keep the ball rolling. Another event we're having is another tea shop takeover. For those who attended last time, we appreciated it. It was a great time. I got to meet some new people. I got some work done. Even had a beer before the night ended at the tea shop. This tea shop takeover will be at Cafe Driad on the 24th of October, which I believe is a Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. It's a Thursday. And it will be from 6 to 10 p.m. So it doesn't mean you have to come at 6 p.m. and have to leave at 10. People can just come whenever they're available. If you want to get some work done, you know, want to just sort of hang out and read something for a little bit, a nice little atmosphere. Cafe Driad is on, I believe, East Franklin Street. So it's maybe like 5 minutes off the campus. It's really close by. And it's a nice little tea shop atmosphere. I think people will really like it. I think it's one of the nicer tea shops in the area, so I highly recommend it. Moving right along, Zaire and I are putting our heads together to organize some basketball watch parties. So be on the lookout for that. Some will be at bars, some might be a little more informal, just, you know, a gathering at someone's apartment with food and stuff like that. I personally enjoy cooking for folks, so I will probably try to have one of those informal basketball watch parties at my place. So everyone is welcome to join. And then also in November, we're going to have a Panther Watch party on Monday, November 13th at 8:30 p.m. So we'll just stay posted, you know, just keep those things in mind. Zaire and I will make sure we have flyers out about all those events so everyone can plan accordingly. And I think that concludes all the announcements from social committee.
So between historian and fundraising, who wants to go next?
I can go real quick. So my name is Lauren Houston, and I am a first-year master's student at the School of Media and Journalism, and I am on the fundraising committee. 3 brief updates that I have for everyone. So first, we are exploring ways to be more involved in homecoming and all of its festivities, specifically with the bar, the Black Alumni Reunion. So Henry has been in contact with some of the planning committee there, and just thinking about different ways that we can be a part of some of the events that we have, and find different opportunities to not only connect with alumni, but find interesting ways to raise funds while doing so. We are also looking into doing a December study break fundraising food night. And so we'll be picking a local restaurant on Franklin Street where everyone can come from all over different grad student organizations, come and meet all of us, Basically do some very, very informal networking, grab some food during your study break during that day, and then also really just have a good time in the midst of all the stress of studying. We'll be doing one of those in December, and we'll be looking at either March or April to do another one in the spring. Again, those specific locations haven't been booked yet, but when they are, we'll be sure to let everybody know.
Cool, thanks. And Laren.
So I'm Laren Jensen. I'm a second-year master's student in the School of Media and Journalism. I am the historian/PR chair. So two things. Well, one, gonna work on getting all of these websites and social media accounts seamless, like get them all back to us. And also, so I just want to make sure that everyone, please subscribe to our social media accounts or follow, and make sure that you have the right ones. So on Facebook, I suppose I can put the link, but in the box, which I will do when I'm done speaking. Facebook, we are the Black Graduate and Professional Students at UNCCH. And on Instagram, we are UNCCH.BGPSA. And for Twitter, I believe we are the same thing. Because there is a UNC BGPSA, which is our club, but we don't have a password to that. I'll put the links to that, though, in the YouTube live stream. And secondly, we just need to vote on a logo because we've got a couple. So I guess I'll share my screen. Yep. And you can see, here's one that's on the Facebook page. It's red, black, and green, going for the Pan-African colors there, I guess. And then, so it just has the letters. I think you guys can see this big.
No. I don't think we can see it. No.
Oh, you can't see it at all?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's no good. Maybe then I can just send that out. Why can't you guys see that? Can you guys see this one?
No, we can't see your screen at all. Did you click on the right?
Oh, you know why? I didn't click share. I clicked it, but I forgot to hit share. My bad. Okay.
Wow.
So here's one. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the one that's on the Facebook page, and I believe that's also the one that's on Twitter right now. And here is another one, which is not big enough. So that's on the website and Instagram, but here it is again. So we just need to have a vote on that. One is the black, red, and green one, and two is the black one. So I don't know how we vote. I guess put a 1 or a 2 in the chat box. Or Henry, do you want to coordinate that? I don't know. So yeah, that's all that's going on here.
Great. So I'm going to give folks in the chat a minute just to, because they're maybe 15 seconds behind on the live stream. So yeah. So if you're in the live stream, just put yes or no. No. Numbers. So put what number you're voting for. 1 is the Pan-African one, correct? And 2 is the black and white and blue one. And if you are in this chat, you can also put it in the group chat, which one you're voting for.
Also, do I get a vote?
Yeah. Good question. All right. Everybody have a chance to put in their vote here? Are some folks abstaining? Okay. Great. So the majority is for 2.
Yeah, I vote for 2. I couldn't put it in for some odd reason. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, for me.
Cool.
Cool. So we have an official logo.
Yeah. Awesome. So that concludes all of the different committee updates. Are there anything business related people want to bring up that we may have missed that you think that's important for us to discuss before we end the official part of the meeting? So what's been done in the past after general body meetings is that, except for the first one, we open it up to an open forum where we have in a space to kind of discuss different issues related to being a Black graduate and professional student here at UNC. So obviously it's going to be a little interesting to work with this virtually. So we'll see how it works. But the thing is, the official meeting is over. So if you don't want to stay for this part, you don't have to stay. You can feel free to leave, virtually, of course. The other caveat of this is that the great thing about meeting online is that this is being recorded. So as soon as we stop the live stream, it automatically goes to our YouTube channel, which we can then distribute on social media. So we can keep all of the Black graduate and professional students up to date on what's happening, even though they weren't able to make the meeting. The downside is that if we're having an open discussion, remember that things are being recorded. Yeah. So the kind of question that I came up with for today is something similar that they talked about a couple years ago, and is how was or is your Black student experience here at UNC? So if you're in the chat, feel free to chime in and I'll read your comment out loud. And for live folks, hopefully somebody starts it that isn't me. I know it's a heavy question, so if you need a couple seconds. While we're waiting for folks, Mimi made a suggestion that we should maybe share what the symbol means in the second logo. So since we picked that one, just knowing what the symbol means might be important, and I can help you find the meaning of that, Lauren. All right, who wants to talk about the Black student experience at UNC? What about somebody that went here for undergrad and is now a graduate student? Anthony?
What is it like being a Black student at UNC? To me, being here has taught me to create my own community. And I feel like it's kind of a valuable sort of thing that I've sort of learned over the years. You kind of have to make it your own. It's like when you graduate and you go into the real world, you know, it's not the bubble of UNC. You kind of have to do the same thing. You have to, you know, amongst all the people that you're around, you have to sort of create your own community. So, I mean, I feel like that's my little 2 cents, but yeah, I mean, it's had its challenges here and there, but I feel like I've been lucky in the fact that I've been here for a while. So I've sort of like built up a community that I really enjoy and love engaging with. So I feel sort of, but you know, that's not necessarily true for someone who's brand new here. So you kind of have to, you kind of have to put forth some effort in like bringing those people into your circle that you want to be in your circle, and like cherishing those friendships and connections. So it requires a little effort in the beginning, but it's worth it in the end if you put that little extra effort in. So
cool.
Yeah, I'd like to second that. I went here in undergrad as well. And I would say, like, for undergrad, it may be a little bit easier to find things to get involved in because you have a little bit more time. You're still exploring, you're still trying to make new friends. And so a lot of the diversity and inclusion programming that you're able to be a part of, you're able to kind of branch out and make friends from all walks of life. And so I found that undergrad, it was far easier to kind of build that community through the structured programming that we have. And so I instantly knew like I had to do the same thing whenever I got to grad school for like my sanity, because you have to have that community that is like a safe space for you to kind of be yourself, hang out with other people, share your experiences in a way that they're going to be responded to with a sense of understanding and positivity. So I think this is why it's so important for this particular organization to, one, continue to thrive, and then two, for everyone who's a part of this group to tell other people about it, because there may not be a particular space for some people to be a part of, or they may not know that it exists here. So I think it's kind of our job as, the unofficial ambassadors of the group to kind of spread that word and let other people know who may not be a part of it that this is a cool place for you to be in grad school.
Anybody else have anything to add?
Yeah, I think that's so important, and that's something that I think I see with a lot of my undergraduate students, both Black students and just other students of color as well, is that they find little niches to kind of put themselves into and work with other students who look like them or who are particular allies to some of the struggles that they face. And that's something that as a Black graduate student in the humanities, I don't think we're afforded, because once we get here working for the doctorate or for the master's degree or for the medical doctorate, it seems that you're so focused on getting that degree and that sometimes you kind of lose sight of building that community that Anthony talked about. And for me, when I first came here, I found that community with some friends, Emerson among them, and that kind of just grew, and we kind of stuck together as a little group. It was very cohesive. And so we were able to kind of go to someone and kind of explain to them what are some of the issues that we face as Black graduate students. And recently I've started a conversation with people in my department about, for one, the lack of diversity in graduate students, both Black graduate students, Asian graduate students, queer graduate students, and things like that. And then also thinking about how do we take this information to our department. And I know the one thing that I always felt was this sense of fear, because I'm such a low number. Like, who cares about my Black voice in this department when most of the faculty is white, most of the graduate students are white, most of the undergraduates that we serve in the English department are white. And so just having that sense of fear that once you open your mouth and kind of say something to some of these issues, that you're going to be blacklisted, or people are going to think that you're the person that's starting fires. And so one thing that I've tried to do recently was re-engage with my voice and use my voice and try to help students of color that I'm fortunate to teach, and also other, minority students of color who have decided to come to UNC, because there's a reason why we chose to come here. And I don't want that to be lost for anyone, nor do I want it to be lost for myself. And so just making sure that we recognize that to feel invisible, that the feeling of invisibility is something that is shared by a lot of people, and that it is important that we talk about that and find ways to appreciate that struggle so that we can come out on top.
I don't think I can add anything else to that. But pretty great responses. I pretty much echo finding a sense of community, finding your voice, and realizing that, Black students here, we all face some similar things. So I don't see anything oh no, I see one in the chat. So Honore, she's a first year PhD student here in the psychology department, but she went to Howard. She says she went to Howard for undergrad, so coming to a PWI for grad school is interesting. It feels pretty lonely sometimes, but I'm happy I have another sister, who's a first year in my program. Hey, Matika. They got a shout out. But yeah, so that really speaks to just, it can be isolating, and I mean, it's been said already, but like, try not get to a tunnel vision with your program, because before you know it, months fly by and you don't have community. You feel lonely, sad, and depressed for mental health or getting through your doctoral or master's program. So, and she says she's also finding a sense of community in BGPSA. This community, or in this community, because BGPSA is here. So, with that, is there any other comments or anything folks who want to add? All right, great. So meeting is over. 38 minutes. Did pretty good. All right, so thanks everybody. for, sticking through. I know it's not easy to do on a Monday evening. We probably all have so much work to do. So if you have any questions about everything, you can email the org's Gmail, which I believe is in the chat already. And yeah, we'll be sending out the video link for folks who may have joined.
It's a lot of people on this joint.
Welcome. All right, good night, y'all.